Michael Smith, Regional Project Coordinator for the Portland Dispatch Center Consortium, which if you're not aware what that is, it's an intergovernmental agreement with all the 911 centers in the Portland metro area. We are seeking funds to go ahead and continue to enhance our CAD to CAD system. For the last 4 years worth of, we've received USC funding for this project, and what it essentially is a system that interconnects all of the dispatch centers' computer-aided dispatch programs with each other. So we use it daily. We use it to send ambulance requests to the private ambulance providers in the region so that they can dispatch ambulances. We're enhancing an old system that we used to have. We're replacing an old system we used to have. And as of today, we have Clackamas County, Washington County, Lake Oswego, Columbia County, and Metro West and American Medical Response on the system. We're soon to have Clark County, Cressa, and Multnomah County on the system as well. The money we're asking for is specifically to enhance the system. We currently, as the PDCC, is very committed to continuing to fund the operational costs for what we already have. We're strictly looking to enhance it. We are asking for a portion of it is a 0.25 FTE for 2 years to continue enhancing it internally with the capabilities of what we spec'd out to be able to share resources across the jurisdictional borders. A good portion of what we can do can be handled internally without having to have the contractor do the work, and that's why we bought the system we did. And then the other portion, we are looking for about $210,000 to add another agency onto the system. We're looking for ODOT, OSP, or possibly TriMet. The big gets would be the ODOT or OSP so that we could share information to them directly rather than having to make a phone call to them, which is what we currently do today and have forever. So we would provide them with better information, quicker, as well as we can get their GPS location for their vehicles and also share our own GPS locations for those vehicles. As a contingency, if we cannot secure that, because it is actually a very large process internally for them to decide to share that kind of information, and ODOT and OSP are currently going through a process of trying to figure out who's going to provide their CAD to CAD. If they want to get into our CAD to CAD, they're likely going to have to go to us in the Portland metro area. So we want to secure that money up front. If we cannot deal with the politics side of that, we have a backup plan of using it to provide for a portal viewing system that we've paid to enhance so that the agencies like PGE, Northwest Natural can use it as a front-end application, and then on our side it looks like when we're requesting it to them as if they have a full CAD to CAD. They can communicate back and forward with us, and they can also see the location of our resources as well. We're currently partnering with Clark Public Utilities to pilot that for 1 year to see if it's something that we want to use. So in a windstorm situation, we can start sending calls to them and stacking them up in their queue, and they can acknowledge that they have it and no longer have to make 100 phone calls during a windstorm with power lines down.
Questions? Getting tired of asking.
So this wasn't finished up with the $1 million plus we gave you before.
Let
me just go
say. We're looking at specifically $1.25 million that we've received for the CAD to CAD to get it to where it is going to be at the end of our funding. We're currently using some more money to add to the network side of it so that we can keep it redundant and up 99.999% of the time by using our current internet connections, as well as we're adding 2 cell providers into the mix so that it does stay operational when the big one hits. But like I say, it's something that is deployed and used every single day, literally 1,000 times a day. We're sending calls across the interface to different agencies. It's also a resource for emergency management. We're trying to get it in the hands of everyone we possibly can, because you can get the real-time location and status of every single resource in the Portland metro area in one-stop shopping on that screen. Also, calls for service, we're looking at like 2.5 million calls for service going to the system that are not necessarily being transferred to anyone else. But you can get access in one space to everything in the region. So it's pretty amazing. It's a lot of money, but it's something that is a resource for many, many people, and we would love to get it into the hands of anyone that can use it.
I have a question for you, Michael. It's my understanding that the 911, the statewide 911 system got a pretty big bump in their fees this year. Is that right?
Correct. That is
When will
not.
those dollars start flowing to the PSAPs?
It is my understanding that even though they received a large bump in that money, is going to be dispersed differently. So the large centers in the Portland metro area will likely see less.
Thank
New formula.
So this is a combination of like new software, new hardware, and kind of technical expertise to operate it.
No. So we currently are supplying the hardware ourselves. We're not adding any more hardware. It's going to be the integration to, it's going to be requiring the vendor for the CAD to CAD, and then the actual CAD vendor has to do work on their side. It looks, the CAD vendors usually run about $50,000 to provide the interface, and then the agencies pick up the maintenance fees, which is $10,000 to $20,000 a year. The CAD to CAD vendor has to manage the project and the licenses for actually making the connections, and it's very intricate when you get into actually unit sharing and unit capabilities across the interface, and making sure that our region is very different in how we interact with each other. So one agency may interact very differently with another, and so the business rules to handle all of those are incredibly complicated.
So it has to be kind of built up. It's not just off the shelf kind of software. It's
Correct. Usually the CAD vendors already have some sort of interface built. However, what we've noticed is that we're continually enhancing it with those CAD vendors as we're going along to get it to do what we want it to do.
cool. Thank you.